People of Earth, how are you? And more to the point, people of Philadelphia, I'm sorry that your fucking city is going to burn down in about 10 or 11 hours.
Hey, now, that's evil.
Well, it's going to burn either way. You know, Philadelphia is that fucking sports fans are they're nuts. And Eagles fans in particular. It's Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. It's about an hour, about 2 hours before kickoff time. Joe and I are doing a rare Sunday show.
And that's because we love you.
We love you.
That much. We love our listeners that much.
And I'm trying to explain to Joe about Philadelphia sports fans, Eagles fans in particular. If they win, Philadelphia is going to burn. If they lose, Philadelphia is going to burn. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
it's one of those situations like Detroit if they're in the final.
Won't burn as much if they win.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Then again, it could burn
I got
more.
a feeling there's going to be some property fucking damage in old Philly tonight.
I don't know whether this is true in any of the other sports venues in Philadelphia, but when the Spectrum was there, they used to have a court in the Spectrum.
Oh.
So that they could adjudicate various...
The public drunkenness ticket. All that
people
shit.
that were shit-faced or beat someone up.
Yeah, it's funny.
There was a court right there.
That's funny.
With a judge on duty.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was commonplace in the major cities of the U.S. Like, you know, St. Louis had teams, and Detroit, and of course Boston, and New York. It's funny. I wonder. You could probably look that up someday. It'd probably be an interesting little thing to look up. Maybe write a book about one day.
It's just one of those things that I knew. It's one of those tidbits of information that I knew because I met a kid from Philadelphia in college.
You go to like the WWE wrestling fucking thing and get in a spat with somebody, and they bring you right over to the judge.
Yeah. You
write
got
a ticket.
Judge right downstairs.
It's funny as hell.
No hauling them in the paddy wagon anywhere.
Well, anyway, you don't care about football, but you always bet against the Patriots if they're in just for fun.
As I have
with
now.
your buddy.
Yes.
And
I usually lose.
You got a good deal. You got 5.5 points. The line is 4.5. I think that they're going to win by 3 touchdowns or more. I'm thinking 43-13 today. I think this will be our first Patriots blowout Super Bowl win. It's always closer. Like last year, they came back. They've been blown out in the Super Bowl. Of course, that first one was 32 years ago with fucking against the Bears.
Is that long ago?
32 years ago. It was 1986, son. It was the 1985 season. 1986.
That was with the guy that used to wear the Roselle headband.
Yeah, that was Jim McMahon and the Chicago Bears, who, you know, they were touted as one of the greatest teams ever. They went 15-1 in the season. They lost, I think, the last regular season game of the year that year. They happened to play the Miami Dolphins, who were the other best team in the league, but they didn't play all their best players.
I just typed in courts inside U.S. stadiums.
Okay.
And it comes out, very first one. The Eagles' history features a stadium
It's
jail,
so funny.
bounties, and vomit.
Bounties and vomit. They have a thing in Philly that is going on over the weekend, too, called the Wing Bowl, where people eat massive amounts of wings and drink beer and throw up and shit. And they used to do that the weekend of the Super Bowl because, you know, the Eagles weren't going to be in the fucking Super Bowl. And whatever the promotion is, I think it was a radio station promotion, it stuck. And they were all out there this weekend, Friday and Saturday, too.
Yeah.
Fucking eating wings and fucking puking. Getting up at, you know, getting in line for the thing at 3 a.m., you know? Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it, Joe?
No. I'll never be it.
Can you imagine?
Giving me Super Bowl tickets would be the best. Well, I'd get money out of them because I'd scalp them.
Well, yeah, you fucking A.
But I would never go.
You know where the best seat in the house is for the Super Bowl? Right here. Right on
in front of your TV.
Wherever you happen to be watching the TV broadcast. You know what I mean?
Well, sorry about that.
That's all right.
You go to one of these sites every once in a while, and I fucking hate those sites.
Yeah.
Do you have a monologue that you want to?
I didn't have a monologue. I just had I told you I just let me do a minute on football, and I did. I turned into 5 minutes on football.
All right. I didn't know you were gonna.
No.
I thought you had.
I wasn't. I got nothing
I thought you
important to
had
talk
like
about. No. It's
like
Sunday.
the fucking Unabomber.
No.
manifesto.
I just wanted to talk about football because we don't usually. It happens to be Super Bowl Sunday. I'm excited for the game. It almost starts to get commonplace with these New England Patriots, by the way. I mean, they were the worst. They were the laughingstock sports franchise in America. Never mind NFL franchise, sports franchise. You know what I mean? And now all these kids who are starting to become football fans and sports fans think that the Patriots go to the Super Bowl every year, and it's just not the case.
Well,
they were the laughingstock of pro sports for the longest time.
A long time. And I think
painful
could be
laughingstock.
again because I believe Belichick's leaving and Brady's fucking 40. I don't think he's going to be there.
They're all going to do it again next year. Belichick's not going anywhere.
So
don't worry about that.
I don't care.
I know you don't.
That's
why I asked for a minute.
I'm not telling you. You know I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm telling the audience. I could care less. I would like to see some sort of jetliner filled with some sort of other sports team crash into the fucking Super Bowl.
Right, because that would be interesting.
Then again, I'm just joking.
Well, so anyway.
I don't want to see that kind of death.
So anyway, that's how it is here in New England. We've had a lot of other things going on that Joe and I usually like to talk about, which, usually at least somehow revolves around the greatest modern American president, Donald Trump, who had his State of the Union this past Tuesday, and Joe and I haven't got together since then to talk about that. Oh, by the way, everyone thought it would be a short speech. It ended up being the longest State of the Union address. Longer than Bubba's.
No, it wasn't as long. It was 8 minutes short of Bubba's.
Wait, I thought Bubba was 128 and he was 131, or was Bubba 138?
I don't know what the timing is. All I can tell you is it was close to one of the longest speeches.
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, and it wasn't that bad. And
Bubba
did
gave
you watch
the longest.
Did you watch every minute? of it?
I did not.
Oh.
I didn't watch any of it.
Oh, you know why? Because you didn't have to. Because you knew what was going to happen. You
I
knew
don't
what
know
he was going to say.
What night was it on?
Well, that's the thing. It was Tuesday night. You and I started a show on
folks,
Tuesday night, and then
we were going to do.
I was
going
to let you talk about that,
and
not me.
We release 2 shows a week, and what happened is my mother-in-law had a stroke Tuesday night, and God rest her soul, she died.
Rest in
Friday.
peace. Rest in peace. She was a lovely lady.
She was a lovely lady. I loved her very much, but that's what happened, and that's life. And my wife's doing okay, and we'll go on. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, we were preparing to talk about the impending. That's probably why you didn't see it, because you were dealing with that's when she initially collapsed, I believe, was Tuesday night. We got word of that while we were on the air recording. Well, not on the air, but recording a show that would have been show 29.
On Tuesday night.
So that's why you probably didn't get to watch it, is what I'm saying.
Have you noticed that show 24 is still in the top 3?
I mean, what did we talk about? I got to look that up.
Show 24 is still on the top 3.
Okay. That's wacky.
And that's the show
Not
where
usually how it
I
goes.
went
That's
insane.
actually not a good sign if you're asking me.
No, it was a good show.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, that means people are re-listening to it then. It doesn't mean that new people are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want every show as the most recent show to be the most listened to show. You know what I mean? In terms of math and the amount of people listening. Follow me?
And we're in the process of building a website, too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that came to a screeching halt last week, too, right?
Yeah, it kind of, but I bought the space.
Do you have some sort of idea what you want the website to look like and how to get
I want
it
it
to look that
like
way?
It's going to say a little bit about the two of us.
Yeah.
It's going to have links to all the shows. It'll have a little...
So you're going to establish an RSS feed between that and SoundCloud? Or do you need to...
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
And then it's going to have, I don't know, some shit based on... maybe a little bit more narrative on what each show is. I might have to listen to a few of them. And we're going to go from there.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to
We're not doing merchandise or anything like
No,
that.
no. I don't have time for that shit. And I know you don't either. That's just.
No.
My brother really, really wants us to start doing
It's not-
T-shirts.
it's
And I'm
not-
like,
yeah,
I don't have fucking time.
First
for
of
that.
all, it's way too early for that.
We're not going to be able to sell any of them yet. If
You
I
have to
knew that we were
understand,
gonna sell
anybody
them,
listening to this, that we are...
Anyone listening to us, you are one of a very small amount of people.
Well, yes. First of all, you're one of a very small amount of people.
I could count
Second of
all
all,
of
we
you on
didn't
my
start
toes.
this as a commercial enterprise. We started it with... Now, that being said, if 2 years from now we have the same numbers or lower, then obviously we're not interesting enough to have a podcast. So you do have to see growth in your numbers to have a podcast, because if you don't have any growth, then that means that everybody says you suck, and then why bother?
Right. Which is why I'm saying
you're
all I want to
basically-
see is growth. That's
You're
all I care
basically
about.
talking to yourself.
Right.
But that being said, I couldn't do this if I didn't enjoy it.
Oh,
So-
yeah, it would be miserable. Well, how miserable a hobby would it be to just sit
I
here
would
and
quit.
fucking talk to each other?
If I had to think about, and believe me, this to me, it is work. It is work to do
well,
this.
you got to be prepared for it.
And I am not good at like timed work where you have to be someplace.
Oh, you're pretty good at this. Listen, we made it through the holidays and
We
personal
did
shit,
okay.
and we're going to do 2 shows a week from now until 2 years from the beginning date. That's what's going to happen. And once in a while, maybe we'll do a third.
So what do you want to talk about?
We're talking. We're sitting here
Well,
talking.
no, I mean, do you have a topic? Do you got any?
Well, I threw
you got
out
anything
football.
exciting?
I threw out fucking the State of the Union, which you don't want to talk about, which I think is incredible. And how's
Well,
this?
no, I don't know anything about
Oh,
it.
that's fine. Great. Here's something I know very little bit about it, because I actually think it's a non-story. Maybe you think it's a story. That some fucking memo that came out. I read everything, and I'm like, none of this is new news. It's all shit that we already all knew, and you can assume. And all it did was further demonstrate that Donald J. Trump is going to go down as the greatest president in the history of the United States.
Well, here's a few things that I learned from the memo, and I haven't read the memo.
Goddamn, the show sounds good, Joe. Right now, you should have headphones on, man. It sounds good.
What I'm saying
Sorry,
is,
David, go ahead.
I was listening to talk radio on the way out back to my wife's family's home.
Okay, which talk radio, please? Sirius or like
No.
over the air?
It's over the air.
Okay.
And here's what I learned. There was and I can't say the word right, but it's a dossier,
Yeah.
which is basically supposed to be this fact-based thing that was created about Donald Trump, that was absolute fiction. It was paid for by the Democratic. Actually, it was initiated by the Republicans, and they didn't follow through. And the Democrats, the Democratic National Committee, which was being run basically by the Hillary Clinton campaign and being rigged against Bernie Sanders, which is a point of fact. You can go look it up.
Right.
Against Bernie Sanders. They paid for it. And the FBI was going to the FISA court, FISA, which is a court so that they could wiretap a gentleman that was working for the Trump campaign. But, however, it goes back to 2013. Is what I understand. Mm-hmm. This Carter Page was being, I don't know whether he was being wiretapped back in 2013, but they were interested in 2013.
Right.
So the scandal is this. Mm-hmm. The scandal is that the FBI got a warrant to listen in on this guy, Carter Page, based on this fake dossier, and they said that they told the judge that it was a political document, but they did not tell the judge that this was created by the opposition, and this is, of course, during the race, the opposition's DNC, the Democratic National Committee. So that's where it becomes somewhat scandalous.
Right.
Now, how big of a scandal, I don't know. The other thing,
Well, wasn't there
that
spying
came out of
involved
this-
in all that, and wiretapping and everything?
Yeah. The other thing that comes, well, and I've listened to both sides. On this Sunday, I listened to Maria Bartiromo, and I listened to Jake Tapper. And both had shows, and if you listen to Maria, then this was the most horrible thing that's ever happened since the nation was founded. And if you listen to Jake Tapper, this is no big deal.
Right.
The other thing that came out was that Jim Comey was asked during a congressional committee meeting, he was asked when he decided that he was not going to favor prosecution for Hillary Clinton on Hillary Clinton's conduct. And and he said until after she was interviewed. So they said the question was, did you make your mind up before or after the Hillary Clinton interview? And he said it was definitely after. There's a memo that was found that says that Jim Comey wrote an exculpatory memo long before the interview with Hillary Clinton and long before all the evidence came in. And because not based on knowledge, but based on what the feeling is that everybody thought that Hillary Clinton was a shoo-in.
Right.
So James Comey didn't prosecute Hillary Clinton because he thought she was going to be president of the United States.
Right.
So once again,
And does that mean are you? What's the word? You're hypothesizing that he did that so he would be keeping his job, or
I didn't hypothesize anything.
Oh, all right.
I'm just stating the facts.
Yeah. Nowhere does it say in writing that James Comey thought
lied to Congress. Okay, James Comey said, I didn't make up my mind as to whether Hillary Clinton was guilty or innocent.
And you're inferring it's because she was going to become president.
No, I'm not inferring. The news people that I watched are inferring.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
And the congressmen, of course, on a partisan basis, are inferring that. But what else could you infer?
I'm with
Why
you.
would he lie?
That's why I'm
You
saying
have to ask yourself, regardless of what party you're with, why would he tell the Congress, of course I didn't, of course I didn't make up my mind until she was interviewed.
Yeah.
And then they find a memo from James Comey basically saying that he was going to recommend that she not be prosecuted long before the Clinton interview ever took place. So once again, here we are, folks. The never-ending legacy of the fucking Clintons, these low-life, wretched motherfuckers that should be killed.
Here's the only thing that pops in my head with all this. None of this is surprising.
Once again,
Yeah.
it's like when some animal dies in the fucking wall. You can't get rid of the
stench,
stink.
right.
The stink is just fucking there.
And the stench of the Clintons
Those
continues
Clintons
to
have been around
waft.
for so long, and they're so fucking corrupt, and they're so fucking evil that their stink just continues to this is going to be going on. And that fucking piece of shit should be in jail. Her husband should be in jail, too.
The stench of the Clintons continues
They're
to waft
fucking so
over
nasty
Washington,
and so
D.C.
evil. And this is one of the reasons, and I'll speak for myself. Look, we sit here and we say we love Donald Trump. And I actually do. I like Trump 30 years ago. So I think
We're both in the same boat.
you have to
on
understand something. When you listen to us talk about Trump, we understand all his pitfalls. Does
Yeah,
he
we get
lie?
it.
Of course he lies.
this. We get it.
Does he embellish?
Of course he does.
Does he said
Is he handsome? Of course he is.
not really.
Not.
Does he have a huge comb over and dye his hair?
Yes.
Of course he does.
Has he got a vanity problem? Yes.
Does he have some thin skin when it comes to? Does he have to?
Does he have the thinnest skin in the history
Does he have
of
to
the world?
constantly fight back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But one thing about Trump is, it's not that he says the way it is, because that would mean that he's telling the truth all the time. But he says what he's fucking thinking, whether it's a lie or not.
Right. And he's pretty much does.
He doesn't have to. He's not a calculating person in that regard.
And it's pretty hard to knock him off course on something that he says he was going to do. It's pretty
And
hard
he
to
never,
knock him off course.
Never ever apologizes for anything,
Ever.
which
Even
is
if
something I
It's
find.
beautiful.
This is not somebody you want as a family member.
Nope. Or boss.
Or boss
yeah.
or anything. You don't want to work for Trump.
But you
believe
want
me.
him to be president of the United States of America.
But he's not unstable.
No, he's
He's
the direct,
wildly
he's a serious dude.
He's wildly good on his feet.
Yeah.
He can think on his feet.
Well, he can make how many decisions? Never mind before he was president. How many decisions a day you think he had to make as a developer in New York City or wherever, over the world? Never mind New York City. How many decisions does that guy? That's why he only sleeps 4 hours a day.
Well,
the rest of his day is decisions every second.
He's extremely. He's an extremely motivated individual.
Yep.
So, and I keep saying to people,
Thank
when
God
they're
he's got
disgusted with Trump, I keep saying, Jesus, look at what, and I've said it on this show. Look at what the fucking option was.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it wasn't.
That's who you want, everybody. Hillary Rodham
This
Clinton.
wasn't. This
a
wasn't,
known criminal with a rapist husband.
Yeah.
Whom she went after his accusers. Not just accusers, but people he raped.
He wasn't running against Abe Lincoln, one of the most qualified presidents who ended slavery. He was running against the biggest fucking scumbag.
Criminally insane. Insane.
Just so the two of them together are just so out of their fucking minds.
Talk about it.
I don't even think they realize how, they took from thousands of donors from overseas. They took millions of dollars for that Clinton Foundation and millions of dollars of speeches, and they're just fucking crooks.
You look at that electoral college map and the fucking elected by county map of the United States, and it's the very definition of the middle of our country, cleaning itself the fuck out and pushing all the poison to the fucking coast. You know what I'm saying? You see them fucking maps of how it went by county?
Right.
It's just America fucking cleansed itself of the fucking Clintons that day. Yeah, at the expense that, Donald Trump, who's not necessarily, I think he's qualified to be president, no doubt about it. But he didn't put in time as an elected official.
He's a shitload of fucking fun.
He's a lot of fun. Yeah, he ain't the best choice for president. You know what, though? He's a fucking great president. And he's doing right by us.
He's doing a hell of a job.
He's doing right by us. I said it before the election, and I've said it on this show repeatedly. Welcome to unprecedented economic prosperity in our lifetime. I understand that. In our lifetime. Unprecedented economic prosperity. And we are just seeing the beginning of it, Joe.
Well, and he's got a grasp of how this fucking works.
Yeah.
Obama I think he's a nice man, and I'm glad a black guy got elected president. I feel good about that.
I think he's a Cheshire cat, smiling cunt, fucking anti-American Muslim scum fuck.
And Al feels like that. But here's the thing about Obama. Obama never ran anything in his fucking life.
No.
So what Obama did was put more regulation on all business. Now, Obama never had a business. I don't think Obama's ever seen a business. He's a lawyer. His wife's a lawyer. Everybody around him's a fucking lawyer.
Right. Same with the Clintons.
They've never run anything.
They're all lawyers.
They don't know what it takes to run a business.
Yeah.
They don't know what it, when you're paying 2/3 of your money, your revenue in fucking taxes, your 2/3 of your profit in taxes, which is, if you go deep and you go into the sales tax, the income tax, and the state and federal, you go into the property tax you have to pay on the building that you have, you're paying 65% of your you're paying 65% no matter what. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before you get any money, before you make any money. And then if they throw in a few regulations, like, each one has to be tested by some testing agency, and it costs $3,000 for every new product that you put out, and you put out 4 new products a year, there's $12,000 you got to pay.
Right.
Now, if you got a mom and pop shop, $12,000 is a lot of fucking money.
Sure it is.
$12,000 to anybody listening is a lot of fucking money. I don't care if you have $10 million. If you saw $12,000 in a bag, you're not going to throw it away.
That's grocery money for the year. That's what that is. That's
It's
your
a
grocery
lot of
for the
money.
year. That's your groceries. That's what you're eating. You know what I mean?
You think $1,000 a month for a family? Yeah, you're probably right.
$200 a week, baby.
So this is the problem with the Obama and the, and most of the left wing is none of them. A lot of them are lawyers. None of them have ever created anything, and they sit around and they talk about how we should just tax all the rich people, which the very rich should be taxed more, I believe.
I believe so too, at a higher rate.
So I'm going to talk about something that I found interesting.
Okay, can you hold the thought for 15 seconds?
Go ahead.
I was just obviously, I'm not a wealthy person, but I will say that when money was flowing more freely for me, I gave more to charity, you know what I mean, and was freer with being altruistic with my money when I could. That's also because I have such little regard for money, obviously. But I'm saying I truly believe if you're doing better, you should pay more out. Fuck being a pig.
With the understanding that you have to understand a corporation. Now, if you don't like it, we're Americans, we can change it. But the corporate system that we have in place right now, which happens to be the law.
Corporations are just people, Joe.
It is illegal for a corporation to not put its shareholders first.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
If you're a public company, your shareholders and profits are the most important thing.
Yeah, and they will take you off the FCC will say you're not acting in the best interest of your shareholders. Now you're off the index or whatever, however the expression is.
Now
you can't trade anymore publicly.
It seems a little harsh in the sense that there's a lot of shit I don't like about corporations. I'll give you an example. I've seen enough documentaries where oil companies have gone and they've pulled out millions of barrels of oil, made a shit ton of money, and then they leave the place a fucking disaster. I think that's terrible. Now, it's probably in another country, and they do business with some really shitty people, some dictator in a country in Africa.
Dictator.
And, and maybe they got thrown out before they could clean it up. But they should be forced to clean their shit up before they leave.
Right.
There's one example that where I see in an environmental sense that should be changed. Although that never seemed to happen under anybody's administration with the Environmental Protection Agency. I mean, they're more concerned with, fucking shutting down land developers because there's a butterfly there or a fucking turtle
a tern.
or a bird.
Yeah. Does anyone even know what a tern looks like, for Christ's sake?
And people, if you think that the EPA, cutting regulations at the EPA means that, this administration wants you to be drinking piss and breathing in smoggy air, that's crazy. And now I have an example here. I watched a documentary on, everybody probably knows about this, about Volkswagen. And Volkswagen, of course, we all know, they rigged their cars so that they could beat an emissions test. But once they were out on the open road, the cars were belching out quite a bit more.
So wait, rigged, what do you mean? Like before, so there was some process like before it could get released to the public for public consumption.
Do you want me to tell you or do you want to guess?
Oh, no, go ahead.
So what they do is they put in what's called a defeat device. And what it's set up to do. So the way that they test cars, and this is, and a lot of our cars, unfortunately, are dictated by California. Because California has their own California Air Resources Board, and because California has such a populous state, even though federal regulation may be less than California's, car makers tend to build the cars so that they pass California emissions.
Okay.
Therefore, they're much cleaner.
Yeah, okay.
So,
probably not a bad policy.
Well, in a way, it is a bad policy because Montana, that is a state that has, 800,000 people
And a lot of clean air.
and 50 times the land mass
Right.
of California, can probably deal with having a car that pollutes more because there's so much more open air.
Yeah, mathematically.
There's not going
that
to be a
seems to make sense.
smog city like there is in California.
Certainly
So-
less people per square mile.
What's
There's
good-
certainly more area that's not occupied by people, but I don't think that Montana literally is 5 times the square mileage of California.
So I did a little research.
Oh, okay,
now,
here we go.
Now, NOx, which is nitrogen oxide, that's an emission that comes out of a diesel. Now, I just so happen to own a diesel pickup truck that was built in 2006. I bought it. I bought this 2006 for the sole purpose of not buying a 2007 because they changed the motor and the pollution regulations changed so that you have to have an exhaust that is so fucking clean you can hook it up to your fucking baby when it's sick and your baby's gonna get better.
Right.
I mean, it's like pumping out pure oxygen. It's fucking crazy how clean these things are. Now, mine, you can get down and breathe the fucking air out of the tailpipe, and it smells like nothing.
What year is your truck?
2006.
2006.
And this is a 5.9 liter Cummins diesel. So there's a catalytic converter, and there's no particulate coming out.
And it's a great truck.
So the thing is, so I looked this up, and it looks like this is what happened. In 2006, you could have 4 grams per horsepower per hour.
Okay.
Okay? So if anybody has trouble with math, basically what they're saying, if you have 100 horsepower, if you ran that engine for 1 hour, then you would have 400 grams of
Shit put in
NOx.
Yeah.
And 400 grams is something on the order of, a kilogram,
Well, 400. Yeah. Sorry.
1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So we would be somewhere in the half pound of NOx going into the environment. Okay? Now that might sound like a little or a lot. I don't know. I don't know I'm not a researcher. I don't know. In 2007,
It's about a pound, by the way. 400 grams is 14 point something ounces, and a pound is 16 ounces. So it's 7/8 of a pound.
So a pound of NOx. Now I don't know whether this is. I don't know how it's
Measured or whatever,
Yeah.
determined. Certainly not catching it in a fucking mesh.
It's hard to
thing.
believe there's
Yeah.
a pound of shit coming out
But
every
there
hour.
is.
But maybe there is.
There is.
Now, in 2007, they went from 4 grams per horsepower per hour to 0.2 grams. Okay?
That's nothing.
It's 30 times as strict.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's 30 times as strict as 2006. So now, I'm lying a little bit because there was a phase-in period. So from 2007 to 2012, they had some time to
Which
get
is
it in.
less than half of 1 ounce, by the way. They went from almost a pound to less than
Right.
1/2 of 1 ounce.
Now, in 2015, they went to 0.02. Okay? Grams per horsepower per hour.
What was the last one?
0.2.
0.2. All right, so let's divide this
0.02.
further
So
by
it's a
10.
factor of 10.
Yeah. So now we're talking about a fifth of an ounce.
Okay? So
Not a fifth. I'm sorry.
how much?
5% of an ounce. A 20th of an ounce. It's a
A
20th.
20th of an ounce. So we went from a pound to a 20th of an ounce.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that I can stick my head. If I wanted to kill myself,
You couldn't
and I
do
put
it.
my truck in the garage and ran it
couldn't
for
do
3
it.
hours, I would not die.
Yeah.
And
Which is good. It's
so
a good
what
thing.
they've done is they've gone shithouse. I believe 0.02 grams per hour, grams per horsepower per hour, is, I think it's insanity. And the cost benefit analysis, meaning, how much is it going to cost so that they can we're talking about shipping the shit that you buy at Walmart or your food to the grocery store. Because when you talk about diesel, you're talking about heavy equipment and big trucks, mostly big trucks.
It's
the
clean,
primary
beautiful
user.
diesel right now.
And trains.
Doesn't it appeal to the alternative energy thing that you got going on in your life and blood right now? That doesn't appeal to you? It seems to me that cleaner diesel and cleaner fuel emissions would appeal to you as a collector of solar energy. You know
Cleaner
what I mean?
emissions are wonderful if it doesn't cost $70,000 a vehicle.
Okay.
Now, I'm embellishing, but it costs somewhere in the vicinity
It costs a lot of money for a nice
in a
new
pickup
diesel
truck.
Yeah.
It costs $10,000.
Oh, extra. If that model is a
Yes.
diesel, it's $10,000 more. Well, that's fine.
What do you mean it's fine? It's $10,000
You're gonna have that.
dollars more.
Well, first of all, you're going to have that fucking truck forever. You're going to have
talking
the
about
truck forever.
$10,000 more for a truck that
But you're not going to
you
need to
would have
buy
paid
another.
$10,000.
But you're not going to need to buy another truck. You got a 2006.
It's a
Most guys like you have fucking.
stupid argument.
Oh, I'm not.
$10,000
Oh,
on
I'm
a
sorry.
vehicle is. We're talking about. It's
It's
a 30% increase in the price
But
of a
it's
vehicle.
preventing you from buying another $60,000 vehicle quicker, is what I'm saying. I think the diesel is a good investment. I think that's a good investment to buy a diesel truck because you're not going to replace that truck as quick. You're not replacing that truck as quickly.
Well, your logic is baffling, but
Okay, I'm sorry, buddy.
I understand I sort of understand what you're trying to say, but I'm getting down to a pure consumer point of view.
Okay, me too.
If you need to buy a diesel vehicle, which I needed to
All
buy
right,
it.
now that's a different thing.
Well, yeah,
We're talking
would you
diesel as an option.
Stop the madness. If you need to buy a diesel
Joe,
vehicle,
by the way, we're having a conversation. I'm gonna fire out what's on my mind. I'm stupid, so deal with it. Go
you're
ahead.
not stupid. That's why I get upset when you're illogical. So, I needed to buy a diesel vehicle because I had to tow some shit and not a camper.
Right.
Because you don't need to go camping. But for my business, I needed one because I had to tow some shit that my gas truck wouldn't tow.
So there was no non-diesel alternative to what you have to achieve that?
Not really.
Okay.
Not that I wouldn't beat the shit out of and wouldn't last.
Then why does $10,000 more for a fucking diesel fucking eat at your craw? If there's
okay.
not another alternative.
If you had to go buy a car and cars are $30,000 instead of $20,000, would it bother you?
It bothers me. Have you seen what I drive? Of course it bothers me.
Wouldn't it bother you?
Yeah, I guess.
So and what is the benefit? So maybe I don't know how this relates to benefit because I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
If you're putting out a pound versus what was the 0.2 number?
Oh boy, that was I got 0.047 for where we're at right now. That is a 20th of an ounce. That's the last place I was at. You want me to multiply that by 10?
Multiply that by 10.
Yeah. That's half an ounce.
We're at a half an ounce.
Half an ounce, yeah.
So, okay. So let's say the 2007 to 2015 regulation We're going from 2006 to 2007. We're going from a pound to half an ounce. All right? Now, that seems like a substantial amount of...
Boy, that's a big drop, especially if you're talking about weed.
All right? Now, if you go 2007 to 2015, we're going from half an ounce, which is a fucking tiny amount.
It's not a lot.
To a 20th of an ounce.
Yeah.
And that, to me, seems fucking insane.
Yeah, it is. Well, I understand what you're saying. You know me, I'm not really all that hung up on the fucking the whole pollution thing. It just doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter. But can we just get back?
That's what I could find.
Can we get back to the truck thing right now? How much more should a diesel model cost, if not $10,000? In your opinion?
I'm not talking about it. I'm talking from one diesel model to the next would cost $10,000.
Oh, Jesus! All right, now.
No, for the same truck.
I got you.
In order to put the, so what we have now today.
Now I got what you're saying.
If you go buy a diesel pickup truck today, you have a thing that it's a particulate trap, and what it does is every so often, it uses some diesel fuel to burn the particulate under your truck, and this thing turns fucking red hot. Yes, I will. And so not only
Good thing that shit's not carbonated.
Not only could it very well, now I haven't heard of this happening, but it could burn you to fucking death in your own vehicle.
Okay.
But I can't imagine what the maintenance cost is when you have to replace this shit. So you have this hugely expensive shit added on so that we can save, go from a half an ounce to a 20th of an ounce of NOx.
Right.
Down from a pound. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's crazy. I understand what you're saying. The whole regulatory thing is out of control. I understand.
So this isn't the thing these regulations aren't helping us. Now, maybe it helps in California.
By the way, there are 11 other states that have adopted California's tough emission standards. I think this is germane to what we're talking about, correct?
Sure.
And they are Connecticut, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington. Only one New England state not including that, and that's New Hampshire, which we all know is like some weird little fucking
I'm
red
telling
fucking...
you, unless it's recent,
Yeah.
I bought a generator on eBay that was 49 state legal. You could not own this fucking thing in California.
Oh, my God, really?
They wouldn't ship it to California. They would ship it to Massachusetts.
And it's because of the pollution that it makes.
Yes.
That's wild.
So now this isn't a car. So,
Generator, little engine.
but it's a generator.
That's funny.
So if you want to get it shipped to California, it's got to have like another fucking, we're talking about something that costs
Maybe California
$300.
Maybe California should secede and be their own little country.
I believe California should go the fuck away.
They really should.
Because somehow they've managed, because California is
It's
such
like another
a populous
planet. It's like another
state,
planet, not another state.
They
It's another
dictate
planet.
to all other states.
Right.
They dictate with a big, huge fucking, and the next governor getting in. I mean, you got Moonbeam fucking Jerry Brown's dick in your mouth.
Oy vey.
And then you're going to have this puke, this awful puke.
Gavin
Newsom.
Why is he gonna be the next governor?
I believe he is.
Like, has he been elected? And I'm not
He
paying
hasn't been
attention?
elected yet.
Oh, you're gonna say all right.
I think he's going to win
I got you,
because people would vote for somebody like him.
man. I wish I could type quicker.
And he should be fucking killed.
Yeah, gubernatorial race. There we go. Sorry, buddy. I mean, you're on fire today, so
So that was my emission thing.
yeah. I mean,
I had some.
what else you got, bud? You got a whole thing.
I got another-
Tuesday. You had. I felt bad for you because you actually, for once, came with fucking a notebook full of prep, and
here's
you
the
couldn't
deal.
fucking get
here's
to
the deal,
it.
folks. Al usually comes in with some topics, and I felt kind of.
And I've been lacking lately, and Joe decided to pick up the fucking slack.
So I watched
That's the
something on
deal.
Netflix, and I think
Don't let him think that. Don't let him be nice. That's
I
what
think
he's
all
doing.
you people should watch this, and it's called Netflix And
Jerry Brown is ineligible to run for re-election. Sorry, buddy.
Jerry's
go ahead.
not running.
All right.
He's out.
I know I'm behind, but I'm trying. I'm doing you, and you're doing me. Go ahead.
So, there's a documentary series on Netflix called The Naked Truth. And this is...
Love Netflix, by the way.
I think this is 10... there are 10 segments to this documentary.
Okay.
And each one of these is somehow it's co-produced or co-owned or co-done by like Fusion News, who is the same outfit that did the Trump dossier.
Okay.
All right.
So we know where they're at.
So, and this is in the same week where Nancy Pelosi,
Old denture cleaning Nancy.
yes,
You
and
seen
she
them?
said that her Trump, and getting back onto my theme, you have to understand, the Democrats, your federally elected Democrats, shut down the government over DACA. They shut down the government. They shut down the government.
They stamped their feet.
Over an issue that has nothing to do with any American citizen.
No, exactly.
Think about that for a
It's
second.
over a theoretical idea that
It's over people who are in this country illegally. Whether they're innocently here illegally or not, they are here illegally. And the Democrats decided in your best interest, if you're voting for Democrat, that the government should be shut down so that we can have illegal aliens here permanently. Now, Al and I have both said that we are for the DACA thing, I believe. I am. Because these are children that were brought here they were brought here illegally. And, you know, if you're brought here when you're 3 years old, what are you going to do? Kick somebody who's
Right.
now 30
But let's get
out of
some
the country?
Let's get some policy in there so that doesn't happen anymore. That's my
So, Trump came out with a deal where he said, look, I'm going to allow 1.8 million dreamers, and there's less than 1.8. So 1.8, I don't know where the number comes
I was
from.
going to say, where the fuck did that?
I don't know where the number comes from.
Sounds like a made up.
But this is more than what they were asking for. Now, along with that, they are going to end. In that, he wants to end chain migration, and he wants to get his wall.
Yep. Yeah, he
Now,
wants
in
the wall,
some,
man.
He wants that fucking wall.
He's gonna get it.
You know what? He promised everybody that he was going to do the wall.
He's getting the wall, baby.
Now, I don't think anybody gives a fuck whether the wall ends up being like a tower every 100 yards that has cameras on it.
Okay.
As long as it's some sort of a deterrent to enter the country. Because what's happened with here's what's happened. Let me give you a historical perspective.
Good.
Historical perspective on this. Reagan, now this is in the 80s, of course. Reagan did comprehensive immigration reform, meaning there was something like 3.5 million people in the country who were here illegally.
Yeah.
So what Reagan did was say, okay, if you allow us to patrol the border so we don't have this situation again, then I'll let these 3.5 million people become citizens of the United States. And that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are in 2018, and we've got 11 million people, apparently. I mean, the number hasn't changed in 2 or 3 years, so I don't know who's doing the counting, but we've got 11 million
I mean,
people
an average
here
amount of them got to be dying
and
and
now
off as well. So
the Democrats want comprehensive immigration reform once again, which means now we'll make all 11 million legal, and then in 20 years, we'll have another 20 million here illegally. So the deal is our president came out with something that said, we're going to end chain migration, which means that, you know what, you want to come into the country, you can bring your wife. or if you're in the country, you can bring your wife, but you're not bringing Aunt Gladys and, Uncle Tom and Auntie fucking Michelle. There's not going to be 20 people attached to you that you're going to bring into the country. You're going to get to come here. If you got a couple kids, they'll be able to come here. And your wife will be able to come here. And that's it. That's it. That's where the family ends.
Right.
Your immediate family.
You're not bringing a bus full over.
So the Democrats are all up in arms about this. This is the worst fucking thing. And Republicans are all up in arms about it because it's giving away a lot.
Yeah, right, it is.
But what he wants is to make an impenetrable, and I don't know if that's possible, but a border that is very hard to penetrate so that we don't have this problem again. Because as I stated earlier,
I mean, didn't China do that fucking thousands of years ago? Isn't that what that fucking Great Wall was all about? Or was that about armies?
To keep armies and shit.
More armies, but it's the same idea.
But China will just kill people that come into their country.
Well, now.
See, we can't do that in the United States because we're all so politically correct.
It's the greatest football player who ever fucking walked the earth right there, by the way. Tom Brady, everybody. He's out on field. Pre-game warm-up. Sorry, baby. Didn't mean to fucking...
So, Nancy Pelosi came out.
She's
said,
interminable.
And we love Nancy.
I want to party with Nancy.
As somebody to fuck.
As a fuck
when
toy.
she was younger.
As a fuck toy.
Probably not now. She looks like she's melting.
You know what, Joe? She might pick up the tab too. By the way,
But I believe
I got a feeling
she's taking it in the ass.
She's free with the credit card.
And she had some nice titties.
Yeah,
and they're not fake. She had some big fat old titties.
That's fine.
You could have a lot of fun.
They're
with
not
that
fake,
girl.
but I bet you she at least got them tucked up.
You could have fun with Nancy.
Absolutely.
But Nancy said, well, I think what Trump wants to do is make America white again.
I mean, who doesn't?
When you think about it for a second, how derogatory that statement
That's so
is.
bad.
First of all, it's racist.
It's so racist and demeaning. It's demeaning.
Racist to begin with.
Demeaning.
Second of all, it's like saying that having white people in the country are a bad thing.
Well, she's appealing to her
She's
base.
white. I'm white. Al's white. There's a lot of white people. And me and Al, in our family, nobody owned any fucking slaves.
Oh, yeah. Well, my family was came in the country after that. All of us.
So did my family.
Yeah.
We didn't own any fucking slaves. So what they're saying is white people should be a decreasing population in this country.
Yeah.
That's basically what Nancy's saying, because she thinks making America white again would be a terrible fucking awful thing.
By the way,
which is not the point here, to make America white. And let me tell you something about people from Mexico. That
mis sabios de pescas en la cocina.
This is never really discussed.
Mm-hmm.
The people from Mexico, Hispanics, or I think I can say Central American people, were the Catholic Church got in there and they dug their heels in, and everybody coming from fucking Mexico or Central America is basically a fucking Catholic. So if you're a Democrat, you got to really think about this. All right. They might vote Democrat because, once they got in the country. But the next generation, they're going to grow up with the values that their parents, they have very strong values. The Mexican, and I'm saying this, and I'm not trying to generalize to be a fucking racist, but Mexican people on the whole are very decent people. Now, for whatever reason, their country is fucked, but I'm not a scholar in why Mexico is fucked. I don't know why it's fucked.
It's because of geography. That's why it's fucked.
It's geography and greed and
it's geography.
It's greed.
It's shit land. It's arid fucking land for the most part.
It's not terrible land though.
Some of it's okay,
rate,
but for the most part, what encompassses Mexico is shit geography. That's why it's a shit place to live.
What I'm saying
Afghanistan.
Is, without Al.
I'm just talking about geopolitical shit. You fucking threw it out there, and I'm giving you the
Mexicans
answer.
are going to be, on the whole, conservative.
Exactly.
They're not going to be pro-abortion.
Correct.
They are not going to be.
Well, they're also largely Catholic, which that's 80% of it.
Well, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Well, then
didn't you listen?
If you say Catholic,
they're Catholic.
yeah,
They're not going to be pro-abortion.
right.
They have conservative values more than they do these whacked out. You know, if somebody walks into a Mexican household that's, I don't know how the average Mexican feels about having a homosexual son or daughter, but
Probably not that great.
machismo is a very big thing in,
it's
in
cultural.
Mexican and
Spanish speaking,
as
well as Portuguese. So call it Hispanic.
having a gay son is probably not a hot
It's
topic.
a cultural thing.
Or somebody that wants, one day wants to be a woman.
Oy
So
vey.
all you fucking social justice assholes
Thank
that are
God
jumping
you weren't
up and
born.
down.
Thank God you weren't born in a Hispanic.
You might want to
fucking
think
country.
twice about want to get all
Oy
these
vey.
because more likely than not,
Although a lot of them
a
are
lot of these
Hispanic
Mexicans
Americans.
are going to become Republicans.
Yeah, right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm with you. You know what you're saying. Poor Nancy Pelosi, by the way. She's just. You see that most Americans, Joe. Most Americans, you've admitted that you're not like
you
most
keep
of
talking.
Americans.
I'm going to take a piss.
You've admitted that you're not like most Americans, which we know because you are self-employed, much like I was forever. We all know. If you guys are a fan of this show, you know that I am no longer self-employed after being self-employed forever. So I was married for a long time to my first wife, and I'm married again, and both of them are not self-employed. They work for corporations, which I do now too. And the whole tax cut thing has worked out for people who work for a corporation or even small businesses, but particularly, corporations. And what it got you is about $1,000 a year, whether it be in the form of a straight $1,000 fucking bonus or in your withholding, or both. Because most people's withholding who claim 1 or less, if you claim 0 or 1, you are realizing about $1,000 a year more in your take-home pay right now. Now, someone like me who's a fucking maniac and claims 6, I'm not. I get the same net pay every week right now. But if you are a sane person who adheres to, traditional fucking tax-paying practices,
Stop saying that shit on the air.
if you claim 0 or 1, you are realizing about. I forget, I'm trying to do the quick math in my head. It's $1,000 a year. What it boils down to. I wanted to say $50 a week, but that doesn't sound right. 50 bucks a week times 50 week. Oh, that's like 2,500. Yeah, the math is off there. But Nancy Pelosi is so fucking out of touch. This woman obviously isn't just, realizing income from her paycheck from the government. By the way, Nancy, you're not a taxpayer.
Nancy is rich, by the way.
By the way, Nancy,
wildly
you're rich and you're not a taxpayer. You're not a taxpayer. Your husband might be. But you heard what she said about the whole tax cut package. Everyone's all up in arms about crumbs. That's crumbs, she called it. $1,000.
You know what's funny? I gotta
$1,000.
stop you.
But
I gotta stop. Shut up for a
But
second.
you told me to vamp while you're pissed. I think I did a pretty good job. I should at
did.
least be able to wrap
Do you
up
know
my
what
thought.
you had?
All right,
you know
go
what
ahead,
you
baby.
started talking about?
Go ahead.
The next thing on my list.
Excellent. Well, how good was that then? What a good vamper,
Al
right?
is very.
I'm a pretty
Al
good
is right.
broadcaster. Go ahead, baby.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Who needs to be killed?
If you don't know who Debbie Wasserman Schultz
By the way, do you
is,
think she's fun? We always talk about Nancy being fun.
No.
You don't think she's any fun?
she's horrid?
All right.
She'll chew on your cock. She's fucking
I don't
gross.
think. I don't think
She
your
looks-
cock is getting anywhere near her mouth.
You
by the
would
way.
think that you'd be fucking a poodle.
If the definition of fun is your
She's
cock in her
gross.
mouth,
I
then
think
she's not fun.
gross. I think she's greasy.
She's awful. She
I
is greasy.
see-
She's awful.
I see.
She looks like Chelsea Clinton on crack. That's what she looks like.
I see dozens of zits on her ass.
Yeah.
Dozens, in the dozens. Several with hairs coming out of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? She's fucking gross. And she's from Florida, and she rigged the election. Her and Hillary.
Well,
because if you think
at
that Hillary
Hillary's
didn't know-
behest,
she rigged the election. Yeah, but she did it
because she was head of the DNC, and let's face it,
because they were gonna give old Debbie a
when you
fucking
become the
job.
nominee, you are in charge of the party. When you become the nominee, you're in charge of the
Well,
party.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz said that $1,000. Now this was I don't know whether this is in somebody's paycheck. There were various bonuses, $1,000
Bonuses.
$1,000 and up.
Yeah.
That were given to various people because of the tax cut. Now, I don't know whether this is a play. I don't know whether it's let's show that the president's tax cuts actually helped the working class. But at any rate, when you come out and you say, well, $1,000, that's nothing. That's not a lot of money. And as Nancy Pelosi said, that's crumbs. Well, what it is they gave 5 million people got $1,000 or more. So that's at least $5 billion that this is not money that they're going to invest. This is money that people are going to spend.
Okay.
So what you're doing is the Democrats, as far as Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Nancy Pelosi are saying to people, now, half of the people in the United States couldn't come up with $400 if they had to. Their fucking life depended on it.
Well, if you get
Do you
a
realize
$1,000
that?
bonus check, you can.
So what these half are supposed to be the people that these Democrats are representing, who are saying $1,000 is crumbs. These people are fucking so out of it, they should be executed. I want to say right now, I think Debbie Wasserman Schultz, because I like Nancy too much. Because she's got, I just want to say that I believe that, her husband had a lot of fun with her. Probably fucked her in the ass.
By the way,
and
he's a venture capitalist, Paul Pelosi. He's a venture capitalist.
I thought he was a lawyer and a real estate guy.
He was in real estate, but he makes the bulk of his money right now he's in venture capitalism. That's
Okay.
That's his deal.
Well, the deal is, I want Debbie Wasserman Schultz to die. And I want her kids to die first.
Go ahead.
So she can watch it.
By the way,
I want her husband to die.
I'm an average American. I can come up with $367. So
We're not talking about coming out of your wallet. I'm talking about if you scrounge around with credit card, you don't have $400 you can get your hands on.
I can get my hands on about $400. That's without borrowing from people.
No, that's what I'm saying. You could come over here and get 10 grand
Oh, yeah,
tomorrow
all
if you
right.
needed it, if it was important enough.
Oh yeah, no. I can get money, but I'm saying like if
Most people don't have access.
I'm saying tonight,
I'm talking
cash.
about if they needed to have $400 and it was an emergency.
I cannot go to an ATM and get more than I have in my wallet.
I get it. I get it. But still, you have other avenues if you needed the money.
Obviously.
Over a few days.
Yeah,
We're
could do
talking
it.
about people that couldn't do it.
I'm talking about right now, this second. That's all.
Well,
This
to be
second.
honest with you, I don't know whether
By the way,
it's-
what do I owe you for that fucking Mackie? 100? What was that? Was that 100 or was it 75?
I'll look it up.
I owe you money for that. Fucking look it up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All you got to do is pay me what I paid for it.
That's all. That's what I'm saying. Was it 99 or was it 79?
I'll tell you.
All right.
I'm talking here.
I know,
I'm trying
go
to do a
ahead.
podcast.
I
not
was trying to
pay you.
I was corroborating your story. I'm an average
No,
American.
it was
I'm an average American.
It was interesting to me.
I pulled
and wrote it down,
$367
and this
out.
was going to be our Tuesday show, which we missed because my mother-in-law had a
Rest in peace.
stroke.
Rest in peace. Was it
And then
Doris or
passed.
Lois, buddy? I'm sorry.
Lois.
Huh?
Lois.
Lois.
But you
Rest in
touched
peace.
on the same topic.
Go ahead,
now
baby.
I'm going to let you go. You go ahead here.
With what?
I don't know. Go run
I
with
got nothing.
something.
No. You got something else. Go ahead, please. I mean, I'm looking at a picture of Ivanka Trump and Nancy Pelosi's son at a New Year's Eve party at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, how bunch of a mensch is Donald Trump to allow Nancy Pelosi's fucking offspring?
Because Donald Trump has a heart of gold.
Of course he does.
A lot of people don't realize that.
He does. Bonuses
really
for
does.
everybody. Bonuses for everybody. And by the way,
Donald Trump, you have to understand something about Trump.
percentage-wise, a lot of black people work in Trump's fucking world, man.
Well, they're probably taking out the garbage and shit.
Doesn't matter. Percentage-wise... Oh, no, I bet you there's a fair amount of executives who are American. I mean, I can look it up.
He doesn't have a lot of executives.
You don't think so?
That's like a family-run company. It really is.
Well, I mean, they still got to have people who make decisions about minute shit every day. You know what I mean? They can't make every decision.
There's people at the golf courses, that are running.
In managerial
There's
positions.
a guy running the golf course, and then he's got to hire guys that go out and fucking mow the grass. And
but I'm
shit
sure,
like that.
in the accounting department at one of the lesser companies, there's, a lot of black people. You know what I'm saying?
But at any rate, I don't think he cares. As long as you're qualified, then...
Listen, we're an hour and 5 in. You want to take a break and figure out what to talk about?
If that's up to you, Well.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick... I mean, we're talking about the quickest break we've ever taken. Be right back.
Give me a piece of mind. I do.
And we're back, everybody. I left the fucking volume on. You got that? You got it?
We got it.
Thanks.
Al is he's a football maniac.
I'm not a football maniac. I'm a Super Bowl fan. I'm an NFL fan. And if you listen, if you're a fucking New England Patriots fan, you have to. I mean, it's just amazing. It's like, by the way,
I would rather watch a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, I hear you.
About a guy having to lose one of his balls than to watch the Super Bowl.
My thing with, you know how like...
I would rather be beaten with a 3-foot black dildo with spikes coming out of it than watch the Super Bowl.
I got you, man.
I would rather be fucked in the ass.
I got it.
With a can of tuna.
Ooh, you would rather watch your daughter be fucking violated?
No. It doesn't go that far.
Oh, okay.
It's only these are things that I can take.
I got you, buddy.
I don't want anything to happen to my immediate family
you
or
never
wife.
know. Maybe she's looking to party. I don't know.
I would rather fuck Debbie Wasserman Schultz in her zit.
You really don't want to watch a football
and
game.
have whiteheads explode all over my chest and ass.
Awful. Just
fucking whitehead. Can you imagine all the zits on her ass?
It's
big
pure
fucking
awfulness.
Disgusting.
Poor Debbie. I'm sure she's fine.
And you probably fucking you go, and she's got probably these fucking ugly roast beef lips, and her hole's all dry.
You think she can't get wet?
I would rather fuck.
She's the first Debbie who comes up when you put Debbie in the Google bar, by the way.
Of course she does. I would rather fuck Adam Schiff.
Oh, boy. Is that who she's married to?
No, Adam Schiff is the guy who is the Democrat running the... well, he is of course, because the Republicans control the House. He is the leading Democrat.
Good.
On the Trump-Russia collusion thing. And he is definitely, if I fuck Adam Schiff in the ass, I'm definitely taking a risk that I'm going to get AIDS. Because you type in Adam Schiff and take a look at this dude.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
He is a fucking bug-eyed.
Swishy at best.
He is just, he's been balls deep in a dog.
Oh, sure.
Cat.
And by dog, you mean another boy.
He probably fucks kids.
Yeah.
He looks like he's fucked a few kids.
By the way, I didn't realize till just now, and this is how out of it.
A horrible person.
This is how out of it I am. Tim Kaine, who was Hillary's running mate, was the previous head of the DNC before Debbie. I didn't know that. I mean, I'm not surprised by it. Did you know that?
I didn't.
That's wild, huh?
But you know what Tim Kaine's doing now?
He dying of fucking AIDS, hopefully.
No.
Dying of horrible horrible ass cancer. By the way,
I wouldn't want. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Quite frankly, but anybody that gets involved with
his behavior this week has been awful. By the way, Tim Kaine.
If you get involved with
his
Clintons,
behavior has been awful.
If you get involved with Bill and Hillary Clinton,
he's the U.S. Senator from Virginia right now. By the way,
most likely,
and a known cunt.
You are going to be either you're going to be dragged into some sort of scandal.
Yeah.
Where you're going to have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on legal fees to defend yourself.
Yeah, right.
Or you could very well be in a scandal where you have to go to prison.
I mean, hopefully.
Being involved with the Clintons it's like getting in bed with the mafia. They are straight up, and this is Al's term, these people are fucking straight up gangsters.
Right.
They're gangsters.
Absolutely.
On
By
a
definition,
world
they're
level.
gangsters. Yep.
And they're so, both of them, although I did watch this thing, and if you get a chance to watch it, this is on Amazon, and it's called it's like all of Trump's insults. And it kind of goes over all the insults Trump said, and there was a picture of, no, wait a minute. There's a thing on Netflix, not on Netflix, on Amazon Prime Video, and it shows Bubba in the audience on the debate in which Trump brought the 4 women, one of which he raped. The one he raped was Juanita Broderick in the 70s, who never wanted to go public, by the way.
Right.
Which gives her more credibility. She was dragged into the public light because of Paula Jones, who got $850,000 from
Looked
Bill
like
Clinton.
a lot of fun, by the way.
That's the one that worked in the hotel, and they brought her up, and Bill whipped out his fucking wiener at her.
Right.
And the Paula Jones case brought
who hasn't?
Bill Clinton,
Right.
brought Juanita Broderick into, she was a reluctant witness. And so the point is, you just watch how horrid these people are. And I know, you might think, boy, this guy's obsessed. And I'm really not.
No, you're not
It's
obsessed.
just when the subject comes up,
You're thinking what
you have
every
to understand
other
how fucking evil these people are.
Right.
I mean, we're talking pure evil.
They're all evil, by the way.
You might think Trump is an evil guy.
He's
if
not
you're
evil. He's the exact opposite of evil.
You might think he's just this evil, cold, evil person. And you know what? He might be cold. I don't know.
Who knows? You
Maybe
cannot.
he spits on homeless people.
He doesn't need to apologize for his brilliance.
But you know
Why
what?
does he have to apologize for his brilliance?
He hasn't fucking raped anybody.
That we know of.
And he hasn't threatened
Admittedly.
any of the rapees.
Never, ever. Like fucking Hillary did
Like
of
Hillary
her husband's
did.
fucking rapees.
He's never threatened the rapees.
That's who you want for president, by the way. A
Yeah,
woman.
that's who you. That was the choice.
Yeah, that's
you
your
have,
choice.
You have all you fucking women's rights people.
Right. That's who you want to be president?
This is the first woman president. The woman who never did anything.
Someone
without
who
a man's
goes
help.
after the women who her husband raped
Yeah, that's
and
the deal.
attacks their fucking their whole their veracity as
We're gonna
women
make your
and-
life really difficult.
Yeah. If you don't play ball, we're gonna make your life. That's who you want to be president. Hillary
Right.
Clinton,
A fucking gangster.
a gangster, total gangster.
So
On that note,
I really hope she dies.
Tim Kaine.
I hope she dies.
Tim Kaine was her.
If she dies,
running mate.
I'm gonna be fucking jumping up.
Joe,
and down
here's
when
the
she
thing,
dies.
man. They're all getting old. She's in her 70s.
Good.
They're all 70,
She should
71
die
years
soon.
old. They're getting up there. They're at the average dying age.
She shouldn't
you know what
be
I mean?
able to enjoy all the money she's fucking.
So right now, Tim Kaine, I
Brought
want
in.
you to have Tim Kaine needs a little fucking discomfort because I think you got a little too big for your britches. You got a little too big for your
Tim
britches.
Kaine.
Tim Kaine, the fucking former head of the DNC and Hillary Clinton's running mate. Tim Kaine, who continues to be a loudmouth in his role as a senator. Tim Kaine, who has...
Was he a senator from Virginia before?
He's a senator from Virginia now. He used to be in state government. Tim Kaine, who has 3 children with his lovely wife, Ann. His oldest is Nat, who was born in 1990. He's got another son, Michael, born in 1992. And a daughter, Amelia, born in... Precious Amelia, born in 1995. Only a year older than my own precious daughter.
I was getting all fired up for something. Are you going to wish somebody dead soon?
Tim Kaine, because of all of your shortcomings as a human being,
Here we go.
I am sentencing your children, Nat, who is already fucking 28 years old,
He's probably already retired.
and Michael, again, he was born in 1992. He's 25 years old. He hasn't had his 26th birthday yet.
He should be killed.
And Amelia, who's only a year younger
How many black cocks do you think
than my
Amelia's
own
had?
precious daughter, Charlena. I'm sentencing your children to death by painful blood cancer, leukemia, while you have to watch them wither the fuck away over the course of a year or two. And upon their death, Tim, you are sentenced to fucking horrifying, painful, and long-lasting ass cancer, where at some point,
I was getting all fired.
while you're sitting on the toilet, you bleed the fuck out on the toilet, and you're dead. Dead. Tim Kaine, you are the object of my wrath this evening. February 4th, 2018. Tim Kaine, you and your children are sentenced to death while your lovely wife, Ann, gets to watch.
What happens to her?
And she gets to live the rest of her life remembering the painful deaths of her children and her husband.
Hey,
Because her husband is a known cunt. I'm
Maybe-
sorry, Joe. Go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy. I haven't been. It's been weeks since you've let me sentence anyone to death, and I'm all worked up.
you seem excited about
I'm
it.
not just excited. I'm sad. I'm sad that I had to do it because he has children.
May your wife be raped by Bill Clinton.
Oh my God! Can
How
you
about
imagine?
that?
I'm pretty sure my wife would beat the shit out of Bill Clinton. By the way, she wouldn't let that go down.
I'll tell you something.
She's like, I don't care who you are or who you represent.
they might have
you have a
gone to
pathetically
Bill
small
Clinton during
penis.
this debate, but I watched it and they didn't. And I guarantee you, there was a camera on Bill Clinton the whole time, which this mainstream fucking this so-called unbiased media. Bill Clinton was fucking horrified when Trump was talking about because this was just after he was saying on a bus that he didn't know he was being recorded with Billy Bush. He said, being famous, it's crazy. You can these women are crazy. They're all over me. You can grab them by the pussy or the tits. Or he didn't say, I've grabbed women by the pussy. He said it's like crazy being famous, which was the gist of what he was talking about.
Right.
Not that this was a good thing to say.
Yeah, but right. He didn't know how to. He doesn't.
But it's
poor
something
Donald.
if
all
I got
Donald
fame-
knows how to do is build buildings. He doesn't know how to express himself in English.
Well, he built some buildings in the early times, and then he licensed his name. After the 90s,
It's fine. He's still building buildings, man.
the 90s crash, he kind of gave up on the building buildings. But he did build some buildings.
He was never looking to be an eloquent fucking orator or eloquent fucking writer. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about right there. I'm sorry, buddy. They showed big time English soccer. I got excited. It's Super Bowl Sunday, everybody.
I just think that Donald Trump is just one of those guys that comes along once every 100 years, and you have to admit, no matter who you are, you have to admit the accomplishment of becoming president from never having been a politician ever is quite
Right.
a fucking thing.
So right,
to see.
He's never going to be a great statesman, but he'll be a great administrator, a great president. He's not fucking Winston Churchill, all right? He's not. He's not Teddy Roosevelt. Maybe he's not Franklin Roosevelt. He's not a great statesman. But what he is a guy who knows how to get a system fucking working.
You know what he is he's a guy that can speak in the same language as
the rest of us.
As a plumber.
As all of us.
Or a factory worker.
He appeals to us.
It's just he's not a regular guy.
No,
he can speak to those guys.
But he gets the construction guys. Maybe that's why he appeals to me and you, and maybe that's why we give him.
Well, yeah.
Maybe that's why we give him wider shrift than a lot of people.
Yeah, he does. He speaks.
He speaks to us. He's a builder. He's a fucking builder.
I know if there's women listening, I know you find this horrible.
No, they don't. Most women love the Donald because he's handsome.
No, I'm talking about the talk. But there's a last bastion, and I wish women were working there because it would be nice to have women on the job. But look, I build houses for a living, and there's people.
Thank
that come
God
on
for
the job,
you, Joe. You
and
do a
there's
great
nobody.
job.
There are no women. I mean, there's out of all
very
the
little,
subcontractors,
very little.
Every once in a while, you see one pop up.
It's
a
a
truck driver or
minuscule.
something.
Yeah, it's minuscule.
The language on a job site.
By the way,
how many times I fucked my mother? How many times I've taken in the ass by a fag?
By the way, I got my fucking.
How many times an elephant stuck his trunk up my ass?
I got my oil change at Valvoline yesterday.
This kind of talk is normal on a construction site.
And three of the people were women. I was like, what is going on? But it ain't like that in construction. You're right.
No, it's not.
It's just not. Once in a while, maybe you see a female landscaper. That's it. That's it.
I don't think it's because anybody's saying you can't work here. I think it's because no woman. Why would
you want to do it?
Why would you want to do that?
Not a lot of women framers out there. Holy shit! Can you imagine a women framer?
No, there's.
By the way,
not around us anyway.
In my profession,
and I would not. I would be thrilled if I saw a woman framer.
In my professional experience,
I'd hire a woman framer because she's probably more on the ball.
Yeah, but she ain't fucking lifting sheets of fucking plywood.
Well, no, if she had a crew and shit.
Yeah,
say she was running the show.
In my experience, I was a painting contractor forever, and I still do a little painting contracting, and I am in the business still as a estimator for a commercial painting contracting company. But my experience with women in the painting industry was before I was the boss. And a couple of crews that I worked on, I was in charge of some women painters. And yeah, they paint window sash really nice and pretty. But you know what? They're not fucking kicking around a 32-foot ladder or even a 24-foot ladder, which is pretty fucking light, by the way. They're not kicking around ladders, and they're not kicking ass. What they're doing is they're painting doors and they're painting windows. And that's it.
But you're saying
in my fucking career as a boss, where I owned the company and people worked for me and I paid them, I never, ever had a woman work for me. I never had a woman work for me, ever.
Did you have a woman ask to work for you?
No, but I will qualify that with I've only had 5 or 6 people apply with me over those years, by the way, because not only was I word of mouth getting business and jobs, I was word of mouth employer-wise. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay. So I never had a woman ask me for a job, and I never denied a woman a job.
Did you make anybody blow you before they got work?
In the painting industry? Are you out of your fucking mind? I told you to call me. I told you if I didn't call you to come pick me up. What are you doing?
Uh-oh, he's on the phone with his wife. This is terrible.
Say it again.
I'm on my way to get
Terrible,
you.
folks.
Calling to make sure that you were actually.
He's talking.
Hold on, Joe. Stop.
Why are you snapping?
Well, I got to
Oh,
stop.
I'm not snapping. I'm trying to just get.
We're on a show here.
I'm not snapping, baby. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Are you on your way?
Yeah, you said to leave there.
He's talking to his wife
Joe,
on the phone.
Joe. Hold on. Say it again, baby.
You told me to leave there at 6 if you didn't call before.
Yeah, and I wanted you to just come in. Just come into the show and sit down at the microphone.
I was having a good conversation, so you really
Or not.
let me wait?
Say it again.
I was in the middle of a conversation that I just had to get up and walk out of.
All right, baby. We'll see you in a minute, okay?
So, are you not done?
Well, I mean, I can be, but just come on into the studio and I'll be ready for you.
No, well, you won't, because I'm like turning onto the road right now, so obviously not.
Okay.
Why didn't you let me know that you were running over so I didn't run out of there right on time?
I didn't. We're rolling. I didn't see the clock.
Well, you're done now.
All right, girl. We'll see you in a minute.
Bye.
She's the best.
Did you just get her on tape here?
I did.
Well, you might as well put her on.
Oh,
Pitching at you.
Yeah. Oh, I did. You know, whatever. The thing is she went over to my phone. The original plan was there were several original plans. I thought she was going to join us on the air tonight.
Well,
And-
didn't you drive here? Or did she drive
No,
you off?
she dropped me off. And my original plan was, hey, if you want to do a show, because last time it was a Saturday show, she came. Today's a Sunday. I was hoping that she wouldn't come on the air, but I was like, hey, if she wants to come on the air, that's fine. It's Sunday.
Right.
I'm glad that she didn't. So now she's coming to pick me up, and we'll get her on the air. Should be fun. She's a little annoyed, so we got to get her on the air. So you got anything else or what? By the way, I wrote this down earlier. Nothing good ever happens when a sleeve of Fireball is produced.
No, it's never a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, 2 Fireball is what you need to get through one of these bad boys. But you had a few more Fireballs last night, was it? Or one of these other nights?
Well, it's not even. It's just that they didn't have 2 Fireballs.
Oh, available.
They had a sleeve.
Oh, and they refused to break a sleeve? I mean, what the fuck?
No, you know what?
You were like, fuck it, I'll buy a sleeve.
There was no Fireballs in the little fridge.
Right.
There was a sleeve. I took the sleeve.
Yeah.
I probably could have bought 2 Fireballs. But I said, fuck it. And Alan came over, and he had 2 Fireballs. So
I miss Alan, by the way. Hi, Al. I miss you, man. You're
I think
a great
he had
guy.
3. I think I had 3 yesterday, and I've had 5 today.
So,
I feel pretty good, actually, but I know this shit knocks me out because it has a weird reaction with all my other fucking drugs that I take to try to stay fucking somewhat normal.
yeah, right. Which is what, again? What are you taking?
My drugs?
Yeah, what are you taking?
I take
Your current thing.
I don't want to keep going over the drugs.
No, we don't keep going over it. I'm just wondering if it's changed.
No, nothing's changed.
Put those headphones on right there.
If you want to know what drugs I'm on,
We're 30 seconds. We're all done.
Send
Just
me
put them
an
on
email.
so you can hear. Go ahead.
well, I'll tell you off the air. Not that I'm embarrassed.
I
but
wasn't yelling at
if
you,
need
by the
any,
way.
Pat, what are you, annoyed?
I got yelled at.
No, I didn't mean to yell at you. I wasn't. He'll
fucking-
corroborate it.
He wasn't yelling.
I just couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear
you.
you. I couldn't hear you. That's all.
We were.
I'm not yelling at you. I don't ever yell at you.
You didn't seem upset or anything.
Talking to the microphone. Talking to the microphone, please.
Well, now you don't have to tell her what to do now, Al.
I wasn't
She
yelling.
doesn't.
Yeah, I wasn't annoyed at all. So,
It's cold outside, baby.
baby, it's cold outside. Show him your other. Show him your T-shirt.
My Patriots?
Yeah, he doesn't care, but show it to him.
There it is.
So, what's there? A party going on over there?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up, buddy. It's Super
Where
Bowl
are you going
Sunday.
to a party?
Well, where do you think? Boop Woodland Lane.
Oh, you're going over to the folks.
Well, you know, head party animal Al Senior over there.
There you go.
Go ahead.
There's the most delicious antipasto setup you've ever seen.
Is it
in
still
your life.
available?
That's
It
wonderful.
is in the
Meat
refrigerator
and
waiting
cheese,
for
meat
you.
and cheese, meat and cheese.
And cheese and marinated mushrooms and roasted red peppers and
Talk
three
into
different
the
kinds,
microphone.
2 different kinds
Into
of
it.
olives.
Into it.
And 3 different kinds of cheese. There's fresh mozzarella and there's pepperoni
Yeah.
and there's, just anything you could ever want to put on an antipasto. It's there and
All
it's
right.
amazing and
So
it's
by
delicious.
the way, last night when we were talking about today's schedule, because we always go over the next day's schedule in bed, which I don't know if you and your wife do it, but you probably don't because it's the same thing every day. So we're going over today's schedule, and I'm like, so as of yesterday, she wanted to do the podcast tonight. And then at some point today, she decided not to do the podcast.
I was hammered last night when I said that.
And it sounded
Yeah.
like fun, right?
It did.
So what the fuck?
I was having an enjoyable time with your parents and their friend and your sister.
Oh, is Kathy still there?
Yes, she's waiting for you.
She's waiting for me.
Yeah.
This is the woman who was the next door neighbor to us in Brockton before we moved to Plymouth.
No kidding.
Years and years
She's
and years
a riot. I don't know why
Oh,
you. I don't know.
exhausting,
why you
though.
don't-
Exhausting.
No, she's not. She is so much fun.
She's
oh, by the way,
80,
she's gonna listen to this.
and she's vibrating.
She's gonna listen to this.
No, she isn't.
Yes, she is.
Why, you told her?
I didn't say it.
Kathy, I love you. You. By the way, she is. When I look back on my favorite adult role models in my life, Kathy Mitchell is right up there with Cindy Brennan.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Your mom. Kathy Mitchell and Cindy Brennan were 2 of my favorite all-time adult women.
Well, Kathy's a hoot, so let's get back there.
So is his mom, by the way, or she was.
Well,
I think my mother doesn't know who she is.
I apologize. 'Cause
All right,
I
so
missed that.
listen, guys, we got a Super Bowl party
We're
to get
wrapping
to.
it up.
We love the New England Patriots, and by the way,
They're
I
gonna
love
lose.
They're gonna lose.
Oh yeah.
So why?
God, I hope so.
So what is your
I got money
analysis?
on Philadelphia.
What is your analysis on the? What's your fucking analysis on the game? Go ahead.
My analysis on the game is they're gonna lose.
Did you drink both shots and more
Thank
booze?
God.
I had 1 shot, and
Yeah.
then your dad gave me some of his peach and pecan.
Well, thank God
whiskey.
you're driving.
I mean, right?
Thank God she's
Listen,
driving.
All right.
I didn't drink the other shot. It's actually still in my pocket.
Look at that.
Specifically so that I could come get your ass.
All right, thank you, baby.
I've been waiting
All
to
right.
drink it for like 20
All right,
minutes.
great.
Folks, I'm Joe. He's Al. We're
And
kind
I'm
of
Kat,
right.
and you forgot me.
And she's Kat. And
And-
she's drunk and she's driving.
And rest in peace, Lois. And
Yes.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Rest in
And
peace,
you know
Lois.
what? Listen, we're trying to get off the air. You know, if I was still in my situation that I was when the father died, I would be there. I can't be there.
That's
there's
fine.
no way I can leave work in New Bedford at 5 and be in Munson at 7. It's not happening.
I got that.
So
No, there's no obligation.
I love you
I'm
guys.
sorry I made him
I
be a
love
normal
you too.
human.
I love you guys. I love you, and I love your
I'm really
wife.
not.
And
I
please,
know.
please tell
What do you
your
mean?
wife
He needed this. This has been the best thing that's ever happened to him.
What is the podcast?
Your job.
Oh, the job.
Podcast too.
Well, I think they go hand in hand, kind of.
You can't get drunk when you're on the job.
Didn't
Well, I
he tell
get-
you that I make him a delicious homemade dinner every night so that he can take leftovers for lunch the next day?
She's
He
doing
did.
real good. She's doing the wifey thing really well, man.
Caddy didn't tell me that, but that's a very nice thing.
I didn't. The only reason why I didn't tell if I told him and I thought he'd be jealous, I would have told him. But his wife's been cooking for him for fucking 15 years, 20 years, whatever the fuck.
It is true. She
His
cooks
wife
every
cooks
night.
for him every night, and he sits in the fucking cabana, and she's going back and forth the Fall River, and she still cooks. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, that's because Patty's awesome.
Well, Patty is
She is
amazing. She's a singularly fantastic woman.
Yes.
You know what
I
I mean?
love my
And
wife very
beautiful.
much.
Yes.
And funny and a
Yes.
good cook and a fucking lot of fucking fun to party with.
Well,
I
and I
know.
hate to see her upset too.
I
You know,
think
it's just
you're
but-
right, and it sucks. It's painful. By the way, Patty, we love you. I hope you hear the show. We
love you, honey.
And now we're really getting off the air. This is Kinda Right and Kinda Right at yahoo.com. Kinda Right at yahoo.com.
Episode 29.
By the way, you're setting up a website. Is it going to be Kinda Right at kindaright.com? Do we have kindaright.com? Or do we have
I
Kinda
bought kindofright.com.
All right. So we're going to set up email through that, or are we going to still do Yahoo or what?
I don't know.
You don't know how that goes? You're not that into the fucking.
I went as
website
far
design
as
thing?
paying.
Paying is good, Joe. That's why we love you. You're not
And then
afraid to pay for
that
anything.
was like the next step after that was
Okay.
like starting and
All right, listen.
So-
Tuesday we got a show.
We got a show Tuesday?
Wednesday is the wake. Thursday is the burial, but you still think you're going to be around Thursday?
I believe so. Yes.
If you tell me otherwise, I'm fine with that. You know that. You let me know. I'm not going to be able to see you guys before then, but you know I love you. And good night, everybody. Go Patriots.
Hey now.